Hey, welcome to the Plaid X2 channel. My name is John, and thank you so much for checking out my channel. This channel is all about physical media, movies, music, and books. And in this video today, what we're going to do is we're going to honor a Hollywood icon for their birthday. Now, their birthday was this month, and so last month we did the same thing with Charlie Chaplin. And so for this month, we're going to honor another Hollywood icon, and that is James Stewart. James Stewart was born on May the 20th, 1908 in Indiana, Pennsylvania. He passed away in 1997. His acting career was 55 years long. And in those 55 years, he actually was in 80 films, which is unbelievable. Now, in those 80 films, he received 5 nominations for an Academy Award. He won 1 and did receive another one, and it was an honorary Academy Award for Lifetime Achievement in 1985. Now, he also served in the military from 1941 to 1945, and for his service in the military, he received numerous awards. Now, when I think of James Stewart, many of you probably think of It's a Wonderful Life when you think of James Stewart, his most standout movie, and I love that film, and it's probably going to be on this list I'll share today. But when I think of him, and I think of modern day actors, the first actor I think of is Tom Hanks. When I see a Tom Hanks film, he reminds me of James Stewart. When I see James Stewart, he reminds me of Tom Hanks. So what I want to do in honor of James Stewart and his birthday is I want to go through, I have 8 films of his in my collection, and I want to go through those and rank them for you of how much I enjoy them, talk about them for just a moment, and maybe you'll find a new film today that you'll add to your collection, or at least check out when it comes to the incredible career of James Stewart. So here are my 8 James Stewart films and how I would rank them. So coming in at number 8 is The Philadelphia Story, which also co-stars Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn. This came out in 1940. This is the film where James Stewart won his Academy Award. So this is a classic film. The Criterion Collection does have an edition of this film that one day I hope to upgrade to, because I'm sure it looks gorgeous and it is full of extra material. But anyway, great film, and for me, this comes in at number 8. Coming in at number 7, this came out in 1962. This is The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. This co-stars John Wayne. This is my first John Wayne film that I've ever watched, if you can believe it. This is my first Western that I watched with James Stewart, if you can believe that as well. But it is, and I really enjoyed it. It was really great. James Stewart's character is very, very interesting in this film, and you kind of have a huge heart for him and what he longs for this little town he has found himself in. But anyway, it's a great Western. I highly recommend this film, and this comes in for me at number 7. Coming in at number 6, this came out in 1959. This is Anatomy of a Murder. Really, really great film. I love Stewart's character right from the get-go. He's so interesting, and if you've watched James Stewart films, this character of him is a departure from what I was used to seeing him in, and I loved it. It is a long film. It's a courtroom drama, but it's really, really great. It is a classic for James Stewart. I found this for $2 at a Goodwill, and it was an unbelievable find. So glad I picked it up. Anatomy of a Murder comes in at number 6 for me. Coming in at number 5, this came out in 1938, You Can't Take It With You. This also co-stars Jean Arthur, who is absolutely brilliant in everything she does. And so I love watching these two together. Their chemistry is unbelievable. This is a Frank Capra film, and so I highly recommend this. A really quirky rom-com. I love it. These two families that are very, very different, brought together by these two characters, and you just kind of see the whole thing get worked out. But their chemistry with Jean Arthur, James Stewart is unbelievable. Highly recommend this film, and for me, this comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, this came out in 1950, and it is called Harvey. This is such a unique and strange film. James Stewart's character has this friend of his who is a 6-foot-tall bunny rabbit, but only he can see the bunny rabbit. And this goes on for the whole film. It's really interesting, really quirky. His character is this super interesting character, very different from all the other James Stewart films I'd seen. A really sweet film, watching him interact with his friend, watching the people around him interact with him and try to understand the character of James Stewart. But anyway, Harvey is a really unique film. Highly recommend it. And for me, it comes in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, this came out in 1939, and this is Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. This is another Frank Capra film, also starring Jean Arthur. I highly, highly recommend this. He is this young, patriotic, pure, innocent young man who ends up in the middle of Washington finding out how corrupt everything is and the motivations of everyone, and he wants to change things and make it better for his country and his world. So this is a political film, and so it's got some really interesting commentary on that, but mostly it's this just innocent, lovable guy trying to change the world and make it a better place. And so there's comedy in it, there's romance in it. I highly recommend this. Again, Jean Arthur and James Stewart were made to be in film together. Really, really outstanding film. Highly recommend it. And this comes in at number 3 for me. Okay, trying to pick between these last 2 films for number 1 and number 2 is near impossible because I absolutely love both of these films. But I had to make a decision, so number 2 for me is The Shop Around the Corner, which came out in 1940. This is an unbelievable film, and I absolutely love it. Cool story on this one, this edition, is I went to a Goodwill to do some hunting, and I found a stack of James Stewart films. Someone must have unloaded their collection, and I foolishly did not buy any of them. And I was trying to be good. I'd spent a little too much money on movies around that time, and I left them there. About an hour later, I realized how foolish I was, and I booked it back to the Goodwill, and it was all gone. There's this huge gap, and they were all gone except for this one. I'd never heard of this one, but anyway, I ended up picking it up, and I absolutely loved it. I've watched this film multiple times. Again, came out in 1940. It co-stars Margaret Sullivan, and the chemistry between them is amazing. It's beautiful. It's a romantic comedy. I laugh out loud multiple times in this film. You may not know, You've Got Mail, starring Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, was inspired by this film, and so this is my preference by far. But you need to check this out. This is a great, great film. I have no idea why this doesn't have a Blu-ray release yet. I really hope it eventually gets released to Blu-ray because it absolutely deserves it. So for number 2 for me, but if you ask me tomorrow, this might be number 1. But today, number 2 for me is The Shop Around the Corner, which came out in 1940. Really, really great film. Highly recommend this one. And last but certainly not least, this is my number 1 James Stewart film. So beautiful and incredible. It came out in 1946. And It's a Wonderful Life. Christmas just can't happen without this film. It's absolutely gorgeous. I can't recommend this film highly enough. Co-stars Donna Reed. If you're a Christmas movie fan, you've probably already seen it, but it is beautiful. It is meaningful. It is humor in it. It is heartwarming. It makes you think, and it is absolutely a must when it comes to Christmas and Christmas traditions. It's a Wonderful Life starring James Stewart. Came out in 1946. And for me, at least today, this is my number 1 James Stewart film. Now, some of you might be saying, where on earth are the Hitchcock films? And where are all of his Westerns? And the answer to that is, I've never seen them. I'm not a huge Westerns guy. I'm not a huge Hitchcock guy. Not because I don't like Hitchcock. I've just never seen a lot of his stuff. I love James Stewart in the romantic comedy kind of roles. And so that's why I lean towards those, and that's why they have filled up my collection. So maybe someday I will pick up some of those other films. I do have some of his on my wish list. 1939, Made for Each Other on Blu-ray. That's on my wish list. 1939, Destry Rides Again. Criterion just released that film. So I'm hoping to pick up that edition, which again will be gorgeous, beautiful, with a ton of extras. And then lastly, 1947, Magic Town is the other one that I have on my wish list. So anyway, friends, if you've never seen a James Stewart film, do yourself a favor, watch a James Stewart film. It is his birthday month, so check out a film in honor of his unbelievable career, again, which lasted 55 years, 80 films. And there is such gold in his work, in his body of work. So please do check out James Stewart, unbelievable artist and an actor. And so anyway, those are my 8 films I have in my collection, and that's how I would rank them. Again, let me know in the comments below if you've got a favorite James Stewart film or how you would rank those films. Let me know if you've seen one that you think I should watch, and I will put it on my list to check out. So thank you so much for checking out my channel, the Plaid X2 channel, where again, we talk about physical media, movies, music, and books. Thank you so much. We will do another one of these happy birthday videos in the future for another Hollywood icon, and so I'm looking forward to those. So if you enjoyed this and you want more of this kind of content, please do hit like, please do subscribe, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch one of my videos. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.